Hey guys, Telegram Sam here. If you don't already know, I have an Instagram. It's telegram_Sam_vinyl. So if you're on Instagram, check me out on there. But I just have to start out this video by saying thank you to everyone for the overwhelming response to my contest that I'm hosting right now. I was not expecting such the great response. It's been so cool watching all of your videos, seeing all the cool connections you guys are able to make to albums, and also being introduced to so many other great vinyl community channels that I wasn't aware of before I started this contest. I'll also link the contest video announcement down below. You still got one more week if you want to enter. I'll do the drawing next Sunday, November 14th, so you got another week to do it if you want a chance to win an $80 Amazon gift card. But yeah, again, just thank you to everyone who has done videos, and also to everyone who just in general likes, comments, subscribes on my videos. It means so much to me, and if I keep talking about it, I'm gonna cry. So let's get into what you're all here for, records. I just want to also say thank you to Shawn from Bitches Brews. I will link his YouTube channel down below. He reached out to me on Instagram because in my last recent vinyl pickups video I had mentioned how I wanted to get more into 7 inches, and he reached out to me saying like, hey, I have some doubles of some 45s that I collect. I would love to send them to you if you're interested. And I was like, hell yeah. So I'm going to show you some of the 45s he sent. This first one is Babes in Toyland, Hansel and Gretel and Pearl. It's this awesome sort of double cover. Really, really cool. This one originally came out in 1991. This one's a 2016 Australian press. Babes in Toyland are a great female, like alt-rock, grunge, sort of punk band. They're a band that I've always kind of heard of but have never really listened to, so this 45 was a nice little entry into them. And these records were pressed with the original plates from the 1991 press, so it sounds really nice. And this one I was so excited about. I'm such a fan of this punk band, one of my favorite bands, Black Flag TV Party. This originally came out in 1982, but this is a 1990 US press. Great hardcore punk rock. TV Party was on Black Flag's first album, Damaged. And this also has the songs I've Got to Run and My Rules, which I think were just sort of extras that they threw on this one. But yeah, this one comes on a really cool translucent red. That's the B-side. Oops. And that's the A-side. Yeah, love this. So excited about this. And next one we got is Can You Please Crawl Out Your Window / Burning of the Midnight Lamp by the Jimi Hendrix Experience. This was a 2012 Record Store Day release. Side A is Can You Please Crawl Out Your Window, obviously, and this was recorded live from the Rhythm and Blues show from BBC. That was recorded in 1967. That's a Bob Dylan song. And then side 2 is Burning of the Midnight Lamp, which was recorded on Top of the Pops, which was also recorded in 1967. And I believe this is something his estate put together. Sounds really nice. This is the A-side, yes. Bob Dylan song, Can You Please Crawl Out Your Window. This one's the B-side. Oops. I will never be good at showing records the right way around. And then lastly, he sent me a band I've been looking for anything by them for a really long time. This is Pretend We're Dead by L7. This is an original 1992 European press. Great rock, grunge, sort of alternative band. The A-side is Pretend We're Dead, and the B-side is Shitlist, and this was produced by Butch Vig. Super, super cool. I've been looking for anything by L7 for a really long time. This one came on a red translucent as well. Super cool. That was so nice of you, Shawn. He also sent me some zines as well. This big takeover has Vivian Girls on it, Maximum Rock and Roll, a couple of theirs, and this really awesome book called 45 RPM, A Visual History of the 7-inch Record. It just has pictures from the 50s to the early 90s of great 45 covers. I like how I just magically landed on that one. Yeah, super cool. I've been looking through this nonstop because I've just been so obsessed with some of the art on these. Yeah, thank you again, Shawn. That was so nice of you. I don't know if I'll ever be as into 45s as I am into records, but it's something I definitely want to get more into. So that was very nice of you, Shawn. All right, to records. Riding on the Black Flag Train. I freaked out when I saw this at Tomorrow Records here in Portland. I've been looking for this album for such a long time. One of my all-time favorite punk albums. Black Flag's My War. I mean, 1984. I couldn't find a date on this one. I think it's a late 80s, early 90s reissue. But great hardcore punk, but it also has some like sludge metal aspects. The reason I love this record so much is because side one is very typical of Black Flag's sound at this time. This was their second studio album. Damaged was the album that came out before this. But the first side is a lot like Damage. All of them are very short, hardcore punk rock songs. But the second side only has 3 songs on it. All of them are about 5 minutes or longer, but it's a very slow, almost like Black Sabbath sounding, like sludge metal. You can definitely hear how bands like the Melvins probably listened to the second side of this album and were very influenced by it. One of my all-time favorite Black Flag songs, which is the last song on side 2, is Scream. I just love that song. The anger, just the emotion, the feelings. I listened to that song a lot when I was a teenager. I just love this record. I've been looking for it for such a long time. It's essential if you're into that whole hardcore 80s punk rock scene. Came on black vinyl, yellow label. Again, I'll never be good at showing labels on records. Another one I've been looking for a really long time, Steppenwolf self-titled album, their debut album. This is original 1968 US press. I would describe this as hard rock, blues rock, psych. This is an album I find a lot in the wild, but they're always just so trashed. This copy isn't perfect either. It does have a few skips in it, but this is like one of those albums where I've been looking for such a long time. I'll take what I can get, and plus this was really cheap, so this will be a nice placeholder until I find a nicer copy. But this album really blew up in the 60s, especially after the movie Easy Rider came out, because they used the song Born to Be Wild and the song The Pusher on it, which I'm obsessed with that song, that sort of slow groove. I love it. Just an essential sort of 60s rock psych album. And then it just came on black vinyl with the ABC Dunhill label. And I really wish I had this next album when I did my favorite debut albums records in my collection, because this would have definitely been in there. This is Little Girl Blue by Nina Simone. This originally came out in 1959. This is a 2009 European press. This is a great mix of soul and jazz. Nina Simone's debut album. It's just one of my favorite albums from her, because this is an album where she really gets to show off her piano playing skills. She plays a lot piano on this, a lot more than some of her other albums where it's mainly more focused on her singing, but she also does singing on this as well, of course. This has one of my favorite Nina Simone songs on it, Playing Gold Ring. I love that song. It just reminds me of like a wave, because in certain moments of that song it gets really quiet and like almost whispery, and then all of a sudden all the instruments come crashing in, the piano, the drums come crashing in, then it like recedes again and then comes crashing again. It's the perfect song to me. This will always be one of my favorite Nina Simone albums. I have several of her albums now. This album and her Nina Simone Sings the Blues album, I love that album too. But again, I just love Nina Simone so much. She was just such a fantastic piano player, singer, civil rights activist. She just ticked all the boxes, and she's just so fantastic. Anyone who loves music should have something of hers. Even if you only really listen to like hardcore punk, if you don't have Nina Simone, like, what are you doing? She was the original punk. And this one just came on really heavy duty, 108 gram, black vinyl. And then next we got something I think I saw Brian from Cosmic Vinyl talk about. I've always heard of Fever Tree, especially their self-titled album. That's kind of like their most well-loved album. But I think I saw Brian from Cosmic Vinyl. If you don't know who Brian is, he has such a great, fun personality. He shows some really deep-cut stuff from psych rock to funk, soul, punk, garage rock. I really love his channel. I'll link his channel down below as well. But I think I saw him talk about this Fever Tree creation record a while back, so had to get it because me and him have very similar music tastes. But this is an original 1969 U.S. press. Again, great psych rock. I'd say it's more rock than psych on this particular album of theirs, but you can definitely hear slight tinges of psych in some of the songs. This was their third album. Fever Tree was a Houston, Texas band. Didn't really release a lot. I think they only really released 3 or 4 studio albums in a matter of like 4 years, and then sort of disbanded and dissolved in the 70s. I think they tried to form again in the 2000s and then quickly dissolved after that. But yeah, really cool. This is a very cheap record of theirs. I think I only paid $15 for this. It's in really nice condition. I know their self-titled goes for like a lot more since that's their most popular record, but still a really great band if you're really into the whole 60s psych sound. And this one just came on the Uni Rainbow Swirl label. And then last but not least, album a lot of people have been talking about in the VC. This is A Love Supreme live in Seattle by John Coltrane. This came out earlier or later in October, I believe. Phenomenal. This was taken from a live recording, obviously, they did at a club in Seattle. Just fantastic. I think this is one of only 2 known recordings, live recordings that he did of A Love Supreme in whole. I mean, I listened to this morning when I was getting everything ready for this video, and man, it is just so cool. I'm not like the biggest fan of jazz. It's still a genre I'm like sort of dipping my toes in and like gradually starting to learn more about. I mean, John Coltrane is just such a figurehead of jazz. He was very influential in the whole free jazz movement in the mid to late 60s before his death. Just so cool, such a cool thing to have if you're into John Coltrane. And being from Seattle, and my grandmother was a really big jazz fan during this time. She was married to a saxophone player. They would go to a lot of clubs like this. They probably went to this club that he played at. Super, super cool. And it was cool because this was recorded by Joe Brazil, who was also a saxophone player in Seattle. And I guess this wasn't even discovered until like the early 2010s. So it had been sitting in his basement, I think, for like 60 years before, I think after he died, someone was rummaging through his stuff and found it. It's just so crazy to think, like, you wonder how many recordings of not only John Coltrane, but many other great artists are just sitting in people's basements, like slowly eroding and might not be able to ever listen to. So it's so cool that they were able to find this and save this and put this on record for us. So super, super cool. Comes on really heavy duty, 108 gram black vinyl Impulse label. It also came with a great little a booklet sort of explaining, obviously the history of how this recording came to be, A Love Supreme in general, the album, and the fantastic drummer, Elvin Jones. He beats the shit out of the drums on this recording. On the second side of the first album, I think it's called Interlude 2, he does a drum solo on that, and I could just listen to that for hours. Just the crazy stuff he does. It's just so good. And you also have Farrah Sanders playing, McCoy Tyner, Jimmy Garrison. Just such a fantastic jazz record. I'm really glad I picked this up. So that was all I got these last 2 weeks. Thanks again to everyone for the love of my contest that I'm doing. I'm so excited to watch more videos that you guys do. Thank you so much, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.